For my fitness people out there, donuts in the mouth equals gut for banana hammock season by the pool. All right, welcome back everybody. We're gonna talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is my top 5 things you can do to make your pistol easier to shoot better. And since I know it's gonna get spicy in the comments down below, I'm gonna preface this with nothing will replace good training and skill development, but these are things that can just help you out. Again, 5, count them, 5 things. Like maybe I'll give you 6 that are just gonna make it a little bit easier to be not only faster, more accurate, and possibly a little bit more proficient with the pistol you already own. And these things are generally going to be very easy to do and pretty budget friendly. The first up is gonna be give it grip and make it stick, right? Some grip tape like this. This is from Chiral Defense, but quite honestly, it's just skateboard tape, sticky tape with like sandpaper texture on the outside. That's really all it is. Pretty budget friendly, easy to put on, but it does a lot when it comes to helping control your pistol. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, let's just face it. Most pistols commonly sold today are going to be plastic, fantastic, striker fired rigs. They have grip on them from the factory, but generally it leaves a lot to be desired. And when you start training hard, maybe getting a little bit sweaty out there, maybe you're in inclement weather, it's raining or something like that, plastic gets slippery, okay? And a way that you can overcome that is something as simple as putting grip tape like this from Chiral, or just regular skateboard tape, hit it with a heat gun, put it on there, you're good to go. Heck, you can probably buy a roll of grip tape on Amazon, dirt cheap, cut it, put it on, and then still have like feet left over for other projects around the house. And there are a lot of benefits here. First up, it's generally pretty cheap. There are a ton of different brands, there are different textures, different styles, fitting a ton of different pistols, and you can find that stuff out there all over the place, even on Amazon. But it's also going to provide extreme grip in pretty much any weather condition. It's easy to put on. It's easy to take off and replace when it's time to do that. And as long as you have a solid grip on that pistol, this is just going to add a ton more texture for the meat of both of your hands to get onto, to help you control that recoil, reduce that muzzle rise, and that pistol's just not gonna be flying around in your hand as much. Now, how much of a gain is it? I don't know, 5%, 10%, as long as you have a good grip and you're starting from a good point of consistency. But I'll take 5 or 10% advantage any day of the week when it comes to running a pistol. And if you got those big notes in your pocket, you can get it stippled so it's permanent and you just never have to mess with it again. Although grip tape, you can take it off if you don't like it, where stippling is permanent. And while we're talking about being on the range, something else you might need is good ear and eye protection. I've partnered with Shell Shock Protection. It's what I use out on the range. Ballistic rated eye pro that's good looking enough to wear out on the range, out on the town. Really great sounding electronic ear pro with those gel inserts so you get a good seal and protect your ears, because you only get one set of eyes and ears for life. You might as well protect them so you can keep them forever. And if you guys are interested in anything we're talking about or you see here today, I will have a build list. It'll be the first link in the description down below. And I'll put a QR code up here for you brave souls watching this at work, casting it to your employer's TV while enjoying a 3-day-old sub sandwich. And next up, make it easier on your finger. Whichever your primary hand is, make that one have an easier time, right? Because a better trigger is almost always going to help you perform better and give you maybe a little bit more consistency in your accuracy, especially if we're talking about a rifle at distance, but even with pistols. And trust me, I see this play out on the range all the time. If you take your current skill at the same distance and put rounds on paper with a 2-pound 1911 trigger, and then you take somebody else's striker fired rig with an abysmal 9 or 10-pound trigger on it, I'll give you one guess which one you're gonna shoot more accurately at speed and distance. I think most of us can kind of understand. But that doesn't mean you should get something that's super light and unsafe. Safeties must always be maintained. And I know this is where my day one instructors chime in and say, well, you need to be proficient with a factory trigger. Let's just be honest. I agree with that to an extent, but a lot of factory triggers out there just suck. And I mean, suck at a big D. Something as simple like on a Glock of putting an Overwatch precision trigger shoe and a Glock factory minus connector in there is not only going to have a much better tactile feel on your finger, it's going to be a little bit shorter on the take up, a little bit lighter, and probably help you be just a little bit more proficient because it requires less input onto the pistol. And that input you put into a pistol, whether it's jerking the trigger or flinching, sympathetic reflex or something like that, is what throws your shots off and makes this thing seem inaccurate. But I promise you, this mechanical device right here is far more accurate than any of us human beings can be. It is you not the pistol. So make you have a better time with the pistol. Again, don't go crazy. Safeties must always be maintained, and you don't want to be carrying around a 1-pound trigger in an appendix rig, because that's probably just a little bit too far. But there are companies out there whose triggers have been improved by both state and federal law enforcement agencies like Overwatch and Apex that can really help your pistol's trigger feel a lot better and perform a ton better than some factory triggers. Next up is one of my personal favorites: put a mag well on it. This is one of my favorite things to do, and I always ran a mag well on my duty pistols and on just about every single carry pistol that I have, because in my opinion, generally mag wells can only help you. Now, I'm not talking about those massive competition funnel mag wells that they use in like Unlimited Optics or whatever the class is out there, but something sleek and smooth really does pay dividends in a couple of different ways. It can help with your grip. If you've got bigger hands, you got a nice pinky ledge. If this was a compact, it would help even more. The initial purchase, when you go to grab and draw that pistol, that interface can help you get a more consistent grip on there. And of course, the main benefit, it gets the magazines in there a little bit easier. If you're a little bit off, you know, you're running around training hard, or you're under a super high stress environment, that mag well is gonna help you get it in there just a little bit faster. And I know we're all fans of getting it in there faster. And these things are widely available for pistols. They're either made of aluminum, some are made of steel, some are made of polymer, and there's a ton of different companies making these for a bunch of different pistols. In fact, some manufacturers are actually including these with a lot of pistols now because they're just good and they help you out on the range. Again, you don't have to get a crazy big one, but just a little extra area can really help things out with grip and magazine exchanges. And now for anybody that has eye issues, this is gonna help you out. Get an optic on that thing, right? There is a reason that most pistols are optic ready at this point. In fact, there's probably a lot of reasons, because one, we want it, but plenty of other actual performance-based reasons as well. When it comes to iron sights versus a dot, generally a dot is going to give you vastly improved accuracy, especially if you have aging eyes or you have astigmatism like me or you wear glasses. A dot is just such a huge level up from iron sights. And you no longer have to deal with focus jumps on your eye, right? You've got your rear sight, you got to line it up with the front sight, you got to focus hard on that front sight, but you also got to focus on the target. All of that is gone with a dot. You present pistol, dots on target, you're focused on target, it dots where you want it, red smash, and you send that round exactly where you want that round to go. And speaking of target focus becomes much more easier at all distances with a dot, because you're not worrying about, again, lining up sights, focal shifting from rear, front, target. You're just target focused the entire time. And this is extremely important if you carry one of these for a living, if you carry one of these for defense, because you have to know what that target is doing. Is it moving? Is it changing its actions? You've got to be 100% sure before you go to work with that thing. And trying to focus on your front sight doesn't help you. Another great benefit is speed usually goes way up in combination with accuracy. I've seen this play out time and time again at my old agencies when we moved into pistol optics. I watched older officers, even younger officers maybe that had some eye issues, not only shoot faster, but more accurately at speed, because their eyes were now managing one focal point at a time rather than multiple. That is a huge benefit, especially if you carry these for a living. And if anyone disagrees with me or disagrees with you when you bring up having a red dot on a pistol and all those benefits, just ask them a simple question. Hey, do you have a dot on your rifle? Do you have a scope on your hunting rifle? And if you do, why, if iron sights are just as good? Boomer. This next one is something that should just absolutely come naturally, because if you own one of these things, you should be practicing with it. So break her in a little bit, right? The more rounds you put through a newer pistol, especially polymer striker fired rigs, the more smooth it's gonna get. The trigger's gonna get a little better. The trigger might actually get quite a bit better and lighter. The slide's gonna smooth out, and you're getting the benefit of training. Breaking these things in is very important, not only to make sure the thing works and it's gonna be reliable and durable, but also it's just gonna make the pistol better in about every way. And then you can start adding little things like grip tape or whatever you feel you need to down the road. I'm not a huge fan of the Glock grip angle, so I got this chiral backstrap adapter, so now I feel like more of a 1911 grip angle. It helps me out. Grip tape, I sweat, it's Arizona. Add grip tape, right? These are the things you'll figure out as you practice with your pistol and make it better just by burnishing in the metals against one another. That's kind of how that works. I'm going to give you a little extra, and I think this is one that needs to be brought up because I think a lot of people kind of skip or maybe just don't pay attention to it, and that is use good ammo, right? Like, I've seen people take their pistol like this, zero it out with their carry ammunition, something really nice, high-end self-defense stuff, and then they'll go shoot some different practice ammo, and their groups are like inches bigger, inches off to one side or another. Well, that's a big deal. Like, you need to use good quality ammo. I'm not saying you got to shoot like duty self-defense ammo all the time, but even your practice ammo should be pretty good, pretty reliable, and consistently accurate, right in line with your performance ammo. If you kind of think about it, if your practice ammo is within 10% of your duty ammo, you're probably going to be good to go. But if you're using Bubba Down by the River reloads and you're aiming and you're off the target, or you're off a 10-inch, 8-inch plate, or you're completely off that B8 bullseye, that's not a good thing. You need to switch ammo and go to something a little bit more consistently accurate and probably more reliable, because a lot of ammo manufacturers out there, the powder loads are different. Maybe they use crappy projectiles, bad brass. Add all those things into the mix and you're probably not going to be able to print a really good group with a pistol. Performance-driven ammo absolutely matters. For my car guys out there, think about this as a big turboed racing motor. You put junk fuel in, you get bad times at the track. For my fitness people out there, donuts in the mouth equals gut for banana hammock season by the pool. Now, I know I missed something in there. If I did, or you have a different one, let me know in the comments down below, or if you disagree with me, because I'm happy to discuss those things. Make sure you get subscribed up to the channel. And remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Boom.